Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Lightning Gaming. So guys, after looking over my most recent comments that you guys left on some of my previous videos, I saw that one of the most asked questions is what is the best dungeon to do if you simply want to run a dungeon to get a bunch of endgame loot as well as legendary weapons. Now for me personally, I would say it is the War Maker's dungeon. Now I know some of you guys prefer to do the Wine Cellar dungeon instead to get loot. But in this video I want to quickly show you how much loot you can get by doing the War Maker's dungeon. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you most of the secret loot locations, the loot you might not know about. And then towards the end of the video I'm going to show you exactly what loot I got after looting everything inside this dungeon. But before I get started, if you are new to my channel, please remember to like and subscribe. But with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so for the new players that doesn't know, in order to find the War Maker dungeon, you are gonna need to go to this location on the map. Now before you start doing this dungeon, I would recommend getting at least a good set of armor and also a good weapon. But for me, normally when I run this War Maker's dungeon, I normally just get 2 decent thralls. But I know some players prefer doing this dungeon solo without using any thralls at all. The main reason why I like to use the War Party perk with 2 thralls is because while my thralls are fighting the enemies, I can go around and loot all the chests, getting all the resources available in this dungeon, while my thralls are distracting and killing all the enemies in here. Now guys, throughout this dungeon there are gonna be a bunch of hidden chests, so the advice I can give you is just to check every corner of this dungeon. Like you can see, even right at the start there is already gonna be 2 hidden chests right over here. And if you are lucky, you can also find some perfected heavy padding in those 2 chests over there that I just showed you as well. Now once you reach this area of the dungeon, this is actually gonna be one of the parts that's gonna give you the most loot in this entire dungeon. So you want to make sure you grab every last chest you can find at this spot. Now this is also the area where you are gonna be looking for the rusted keys, so you want to make sure you grab all of them as well. If you are not sure of the location to find every rusted key, I did make a separate video about that, so you can go and check that out. But not just the rusted keys, there's also gonna be a bunch of storage boxes over here as well. You want to go and you want to loot all of them because that is gonna give you a ton of extra resources. Now of course, if you are new and you have never fought the arena champion before, if you just started and you don't have the best gear and weapons and you are still struggling with combat in the game, I would highly recommend just skipping this part. But if you already have some decent armor and you have a good weapon, maybe even 2 thralls like I do, you definitely want to take down the arena champion, and that is because of the scraps he will be dropping, which you are gonna need to craft champion armor as well as the Godbreaker armor, which is 2 of the best armors in the game. So you want to take her out, grab all the loot, and then you're gonna move on to the next part. Now once you get to this like icy part of the War Maker's dungeon, over here there is also gonna be a bunch of hidden chests all over the place. So if you want to get as much loot as possible, you definitely want to go for each and every one of these small rooms. And then of course this is also gonna be the spot where you will be able to get a skeleton key as well as a legendary chest where you can find a legendary weapon, so you want to make sure you grab that as well. Now of course at the end of the dungeon there are gonna be 6 legendary chests, and you can only find 2 legendary keys inside this dungeon. So if you want to get a maximum amount of loot, you are gonna need to kill some world bosses, maybe get yourself 5 legendary keys or skeleton keys, and you can come and get as much legendary weapons as you possibly can inside this dungeon. Now the first boss that is gonna drop you a skeleton key is of course gonna be this bone dragon, so you definitely want to take this one out. And then after you take it out and you grab the skeleton key, there is actually a legendary box inside this room, so you don't need to keep it until the end of the dungeon. There's gonna be 6 more at the end. Okay, so after you kill this dragon, you simply need to loot its inventory and you will find your skeleton key. You can of course also harvest the dragon if you want to get some dragon bone and stuff like that. But the legendary chest is gonna be right behind the dragon over here, so you want to be sure you grab this one as well. Now, a lot of players still don't know that you can find another skeleton key at this location. All you need to do is you want to break this ice wall with a pick. It can be any kind of pick, you don't need a good one. And then you want to fight this yeti inside here. Now, after you kill this yeti, you can actually harvest its body with a pick, and that's gonna give you another skeleton key. And like you can see, there's also some more chests in here you can loot as well. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take down this yeti and grab that skeleton key. Okay, there we go. The yeti went down. Now all I need to do is grab a pick and just harvest the body. I think you just need to hit it one time. There we go. There's the skeleton key right there. Okay, so after you complete the yeti, after you kill this one, you are gonna make your way to the final boss. Now once again, you can fight this one. It's optional. He's also gonna drop you some armor scraps. But this boss can take some time to bring down because he does have a very high amount of hit points and armor. But this boss doesn't do even closely the amount of damage that the arena champion can do. So normally it's not an issue when it comes to the damage. The only issue is because it takes so long to bring him down. You can however also use poison and bleed on this enemy if you want to go that way. But after you take down the final boss, you want to check on the sides of this room. And this is why you needed to grab the rusted keys, because this is where you will be using them. Now you can go into each one of these doors and there's gonna be one chest at the end. You wanna go and grab all that loot. Normally you will find some armor scraps and also a bunch of other good loot. So if you grab all of them, you will get a ton of extra resources as well. And after you have completed all the rusted key rooms, you wanna go and you want to grab one more of those legendary chests. That is if you didn't bring any other skeleton keys with you. And then right before you exit the dungeon, before you jump down these rocks over here, there is still a little bit more hidden loot you can go and get, and that's gonna be right over here. This is completely hidden, so if you don't know about this is gonna be something new to you. But sometimes you can find some decent loot inside this chest as well as dragon powder, so I normally always come and get this chest as well. Alright guys, so after doing the entire Warmaker dungeon and grabbing all the loot, this is what I got. So like you can see guys, we've got a ton of random loot. But the great thing about this is you will end up with a lot of perfected heavy padding, perfected light padding as well as perfected medium padding. And then another reason I like doing this is because like you can see over there, I also did manage to find 33 dragon powder. Now sometimes you can get a lot more than that, but I would say the least amount that I ever got by doing the Warmaker dungeon one time is gonna be around 20. And then other useful stuff, you will see that I got a bunch of grey lotus flowers, I got black lotus, I got the seeds as well. So this dungeon is also very good if you want to get some grey lotus and black lotus seeds. You will just get a ton if you find all the chests in here. And then we've got some more random stuff, like you can see we've got a bunch of legendary weapons, we've got some legendary armor as well. Over there we have some star metal bars, not a lot. We also do get some golem parts, also crystalline golem parts, if you want to go and build yourself a guardian or a golem. So yeah, you can get a bunch of different types of resources, but one thing I didn't mention in the video, remember I did loot all of the skeletons as well. But yeah guys, this is gonna be my favorite dungeon when it comes to getting loot and then also legendary weapons. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with this video, if this is also your favorite dungeon to get a bunch of legendary weapons and endgame loot, because I do know that a lot of you guys like to go to the wine cellar dungeon instead. My only problem with the wine cellar dungeon is because you don't get even closely to the amount of legendary weapons you can get in the Warmaker's dungeon. Another thing that I want to point out is you will see that I did get a very high amount of armor scraps, and the reason for that is because I did loot all the chests inside this dungeon, because a lot of times some of the chests will actually give you 2 or 3 armor scraps as well, not just the arena champion and the final boss. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Thank you everyone for watching. Until next time guys, cheers, see ya.